Question 1. Cyber liability insurance. Data breach coverage. Which of the following is typically covered under a cyber liability insurance policy in Mississippi? A. Legal fees for defending against a lawsuit from an employee injured at work. B. Costs associated with a data breach that exposes customers' personal information. C. Coverage for physical damage to business equipment caused by a cyber attack. D. Loss of business income due to a fire in the data center. Answer: B. Costs associated with a data breach that exposes customers' personal information. Explanation: cyber liability insurance provides coverage for a variety of risks related to digital data, including the costs of responding to a data breach. This typically includes legal fees, notification costs, credit monitoring services for affected customers, and other expenses related to data security incidents. However, it generally does not cover physical property damage, injuries, or business income loss unrelated to cyber events. Question 2. Commercial general liability insurance. Coverage. B. A company is sued for publishing a false advertisement that damages the reputation of a competitor. Under the commercial general liability CGL policy, which part of the policy would respond to this claim? A. Coverage. A. Bodily injury and property damage liability. B. Coverage. B. Personal and advertising injury liability. C. Coverage. C. Medical payments. D. No coverage under the CGL policy. Answer: B. Coverage. B. Personal and advertising injury liability. Explanation: Coverage B of the CGL policy addresses a personal and advertising injury liability, which includes claims arising from false advertising, defamation, or disparagement of goods. Coverage A applies to bodily injury or property damage, which is not relevant here. Coverage C applies to medical payments for accidents unrelated to reputation harm. Option D is incorrect because the claim fits within the scope of Coverage B. Mississippi insurance laws also require clear definitions of advertising injury to determine coverage applicability under Coverage B. Question 3 scenario: business owner's policy eligibility requirements. Lisa owns a boutique retail shop with $500,000 in building value and $150,000 in business personal property. She is considering a business owner's policy BOP. However, she also plans to open a manufacturing division in the same building. Based on BOP eligibility criteria, can Lisa insure both her retail and manufacturing operations under the same BOP policy? A. Yes, because the BOP covers both retail and manufacturing businesses. B. Yes, but only if the total value of the building and personal property does not exceed policy limits. C. No, because manufacturing operations are generally ineligible for BOP coverage. D. No, unless a specific endorsement is added for manufacturing operations. Answer: C. No, because manufacturing operations are generally ineligible for BOP coverage. Explanation: BOP policies are designed for small to medium-sized businesses, typically excluding high-risk operations like manufacturing. Resale shops are eligible under the BOP, but manufacturing businesses usually require specialized commercial policies such as a commercial package policy CPP. Mississippi-specific regulations regarding BOPs align with national standards and emphasize the need to tailor coverage to the nature of the business. Adding a manufacturing operation disqualifies the entire business from BOP eligibility without considering endorsements or separate policies. Question 4. Workers' compensation insurance. Statutory benefits: an employee in Mississippi suffers a workplace injury and is unable to work for 8 weeks. Which of the following benefits would not be covered under Mississippi workers' compensation laws? A. Medical expenses for treating the injury. B. Income replacement for lost wages. C. Compensation for pain and suffering. D. Rehabilitation services to help the employee return to work. Answer: C. Compensation for pain and suffering. Explanation: Mississippi workers' compensation laws provide benefits for medical expenses, income replacement, temporary total disability or permanent partial disability, and vocational rehabilitation. However, compensation for pain and suffering is excluded, as workers' compensation laws are no-fault systems focused on economic losses rather than general damages. Question 5. Surety bonds. Principal responsibilities. A contractor secures a performance bond for a construction project but fails to complete the work according to the contract terms. What is the surety's primary obligation in this situation? A. To provide additional time for the contractor to finish the work. B. To pay penalties imposed by the oblige. C. To complete the project or compensate the obligee for losses. D. To sue the contractor for breach of contract. Answer: C. To complete the project or compensate the obligee for losses. Explanation: the surety's role is to guarantee the performance of the principal contractor under the bond agreement. If the contractor defaults, the surety must either step in to complete the project or compensate the obligee project owner for financial losses incurred due to the default. This obligation aligns with Mississippi-specific bond laws and the general principles of suretyship. Question 6. Scenario: Inland Marine Insurance Contractor's Equipment Floater Scenario. Jackson is a contractor who uses heavy machinery for various construction projects across Mississippi. While on a job site, one of his excavators is stolen. Jackson has an inland marine policy with a contractor's equipment floater. How will this policy respond to the theft? A. The policy will not cover the theft as it only applies to damage during transport. B. The policy will cover the theft since it provides coverage for movable property used in construction. C. The policy will only cover theft if the equipment was locked in a secured facility. D. The policy will not respond because theft is excluded under inland marine policies. Answer: B. The policy will cover the theft since it provides coverage for movable property used in construction. Explanation: the contractor's equipment floater under inland marine insurance covers movable property such as heavy machinery against perils like theft, vandalism, and damage. This is a standard provision in inland marine policies designed to protect tools and equipment used at various locations. Mississippi-specific endorsements may apply but generally follow this principle. Question 7. Professional liability insurance errors and omissions coverage. Which of the following professionals is most likely to need errors and omissions insurance for their business? A general contractor building custom homes. B. A financial advisor providing investment advice. C. A retail store owner selling consumer goods. D. A truck driver transporting goods across state lines. Answer: B. A financial advisor providing investment advice. Explanation: as an omissions insurance is designed for professionals who provide specialized advice or services such as financial advisors, consultants, or real estate agents. It covers claims arising from negligence, errors, or failure to deliver promised services. Other professions, such as general contractors or truck drivers, typically require different types of liability coverage tailored to their industries. Question 8. Commercial property insurance, business income coverage form. A restaurant in Mississippi is forced to close for 2 months after fire damages its kitchen. Which of the following expenses would be covered under the business income coverage form? A. Reconstruction of the damaged kitchen. B. Lost profits during the closure period. C. Equipment replacement costs. D. Increased utility expenses after reopening. Answer: B. Lost profits during the closure period. Explanation: business income coverage compensates the insured for lost income and ongoing expenses like payroll during the period of restoration after covered loss. Reconstruction and equipment replacement costs would be covered under the building and personal property coverage form, while post-reopening utility expenses typically fall outside the scope of business income coverage. Question 9. Crime insurance, employee dishonesty coverage. An employee at a Mississippi retail store embezzles $50,000 over 6 months. The employer has a crime insurance policy with employee dishonesty coverage. How will the policy respond? A. It will reimburse the employer for the stolen funds up to the policy limit. B. It will deny the claim since the theft was internal. C. It will provide partial coverage based on the deductible and coinsurance clause. D. It will only cover the theft if the employee is convicted in court. Answer A. It will reimburse the employer for the stolen funds up to the policy limit. Explanation: employee dishonesty coverage under crime insurance reimburses the insured for financial losses due to theft or fraud by employees, regardless of conviction. Mississippi-specific policies align with national standards providing this protection within the policy's limit and subject to any applicable deductibles. Question 10. Ethical and professional practices, handling conflicts of interest. An insurance producer in Mississippi learns that their client is pursuing a policy with a competitor offering a higher commission. What is the most ethical course of action for the producer? A. Persuade the client to purchase a policy through them without disclosing the conflict. B. Disclose the conflict of interest and provide unbiased advice. C. Refuse to serve the client and terminate the relationship. D. Accept the client's decision without offering further advice. Answer: B. Disclose the conflict of interest and provide unbiased advice. Explanation: Ethical standards in the insurance industry, including Mississippi-specific regulations, require transparency in handling conflicts of interest. Producers must act in the best interest of their clients by disclosing conflicts and offering impartial recommendations, ensuring that decisions are based on the client's needs rather than personal financial incentives. Question 11. Commercial general liability insurance exclusions. A business owner in Mississippi purchases a commercial general liability (CGL) policy but discovers that their policy does not cover damage caused by pollution. Which of the following is most likely to explain the exclusion? A. Pollution is excluded because it is a common risk covered by most property policies. B. Pollution is excluded under standard CGL policies through the pollution exclusion clause. C. Pollution damage is only covered under professional liability policies. D. Pollution coverage is optional and requires an endorsement to be added to the CGL policy. Answer: B. Pollution is excluded under standard CGL policies through the pollution exclusion clause. Explanation: most standard CGL policies include a pollution exclusion clause that excludes coverage for damages arising from pollutants. This is a common provision in commercial insurance policies, as pollution-related claims are typically handled under specialized environmental liability insurance. Question 12. Commercial auto insurance coverage forms. Which of the following is covered under business auto coverage form for a company vehicle? A. An employee driving the vehicle for personal errands. B. A delivery driver who crashes the vehicle while making a delivery. C. A family member driving the vehicle without the company's permission. D. The vehicle being stolen while parked in the owner's driveway. Answer: B. The delivery driver who crashes the vehicle while making a delivery. Explanation: a business auto coverage form covers the vehicle and driver while the vehicle is being used for business purposes, such as making deliveries. Coverage may not extend to personal use or unauthorized use, like a family member driving the vehicle or the vehicle being stolen from a personal location, unless specific endorsements are added to the policy. Question 13. Crime insurance. Theft coverage. A business owner in Mississippi discovers that a theft of inventory occurred, but no sign of forced entry is present. The employee responsible for the theft is believed to have taken the goods without force. Which crime insurance coverage would apply in this situation? A. Employee dishonesty coverage. B. Inside premises. Theft of money and securities. C. Outside premises. Theft coverage. D. Inside premises. Theft coverage. Answer: D. Inside premises. Theft coverage. Explanation: inside premises. Theft coverage under a crime insurance policy typically covers losses when property or inventory is stolen from within the business premises. The lack of forced entry suggests that the theft was internal, which would trigger coverage for theft of property. Under this provision, employee dishonesty coverage would apply if the theft were committed by an employee. Question 14. Business owners policy eligibility. Which of the following types of businesses would not be eligible for coverage under a business owners policy (BOP) in Mississippi? A. A small retail store with a maximum of 50 employees. B. A restaurant serving alcohol with 75 seats. C. A large manufacturing plant with heavy machinery. D. A professional office for accounting services. Answer: C. A large manufacturing plant with heavy machinery. Explanation: BOPs are designed for small to mid-sized businesses with low to moderate risk. Large manufacturing plants with heavy machinery typically present a higher risk and would be ineligible for BOP coverage. Businesses in high-risk categories usually need more specialized policies tailored to their operations. Question 15 scenario. Workers' compensation insurance exemptions. MS. Lee owns a small boutique in Mississippi and employs 2 part-time workers who occasionally work 1520 hours per week. One of the workers, who is a part-time high school student, injures their wrist while unloading a delivery. Which of the following is the most accurate explanation of MS? Lee's workers' compensation obligations. A. MS. Lee is required to provide workers' compensation benefits to the injured employee regardless of their status. B. MS. Lee is exempt from providing workers' compensation to the injured employee because they are a part-time worker. C. MS. Lee is not required to provide workers' compensation since the injured employee is a student. D. MS. Lee is only required to provide medical benefits, not income replacement. Answer: A. MS. Lee is required to provide workers' compensation benefits to the injured employee regardless of their status. Explanation: Under Mississippi law, employers must provide workers' compensation benefits to employees who are injured during the course of their employment, regardless of the employee's part-time or student status. Exemptions for small businesses generally do not apply to most employee injuries. MSLE is obligated to provide benefits, including medical treatment and potential income replacement, depending on the severity of the injury. Question 16. Excess and surplus lines insurance admitted versus non-admitted insurers. Which of the following is true regarding non-admitted insurers in Mississippi? A. Non-admitted insurers must comply with all state regulations, including rate approval. B. Non-admitted insurers are regulated by the Mississippi Insurance Department and must maintain state licenses. C. Non-admitted insurers do not have to comply with rate filings, but they must be approved by the state before selling policies. D. Non-admitted insurers are typically not authorized to provide coverage in Mississippi. Answer: C. Non-admitted insurers do not have to comply with rate filings, but they must be approved by the state before selling policies. Explanation: non-admitted insurers are not required to file rates with the state and have more flexibility than admitted insurers. However, they must still be approved by the Mississippi Insurance Department and are subject to certain regulations governing their operations. Excess and surplus lines insurance is often used to cover risks that admitted insurers cannot provide. Question 17. Commercial auto insurance, physical damage coverage. Which of the following would be covered under the collision portion of a business auto coverage form in Mississippi? A. Damage to the vehicle from hitting a tree while driving to a meeting. B. Damage from vandalism while the vehicle is parked at a business location. C. Damage to the vehicle due to a weather-related event such as hail. D. Damage to the vehicle when struck by another vehicle while parked. Answer: A. Damage to the vehicle from hitting a tree while driving to a meeting. Explanation: the collision portion of a business auto coverage form covers damage to the insured vehicle caused by a collision with another object, such as a tree, regardless of fault. Vandalism and weather-related damage are typically covered under comprehensive coverage, while damage caused by another vehicle while parked is often covered under the rather than collision provision. Question 18. Inland marine insurance, transportation insurance. Which of the following would be covered by a transportation insurance policy under inland marine insurance? A. A shipment of jewelry being transported from a warehouse to a retail store. B. A commercial vehicle carrying a cargo of household appliances. C. A cargo shipment that is being stored temporarily at a warehouse. D. Goods damaged during unloading at a retail location. Answer: A. A shipment of jewelry being transported from a warehouse to a retail store. Explanation: transportation insurance under inland marine covers goods in transit, including shipments of goods such as jewelry, electronics, or other high-value items during transportation. It does not typically cover goods while being stored in a warehouse unless they are actively being transported. Question 19. Professional liability insurance. Cyber liability. A small law firm in Mississippi suffers a data breach where confidential client information is exposed. Which of the following insurance policies would likely cover the damages resulting from this breach? A. General liability insurance. B. Professional liability insurance, errors and omissions. C. Cyber liability insurance. D. Commercial property insurance. Answer: C. Cyber liability insurance. Explanation: cyber liability insurance is specifically designed to cover losses resulting from data breaches, hacking, and other technology-related risks. While general liability and professional liability policies cover other types of liability, they do not provide coverage for the unique risks associated with cyber incidents. Question 20. Policy analysis and problem solving, evaluating coverage gaps. A business owner in Mississippi is reviewing their insurance policy and realizes they do not have coverage for flood damage to their property. Which of the following is the best course of action? A. Continue with the policy and rely on disaster recovery assistance. B. Add a flood endorsement to their current property policy if available. C. Buy a separate flood insurance policy from the federal government. D. Cancel the existing property policy and purchase a comprehensive all-risk policy. Answer: C. Buy a separate flood insurance policy from the federal government. Explanation: flood damage is typically excluded from standard property insurance policies. The best option is to purchase a separate flood insurance policy, typically available through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP). Adding an endorsement may not cover flooding, as it requires a separate policy, while relying on disaster recovery assistance is not guaranteed. Question 21. Homeowners insurance additional coverage options. Which of the following options could a Mississippi homeowner add to their standard homeowners insurance policy for additional protection? A. Personal property floater for high-value items like jewelry. B. Liability insurance for accidental damage caused by pets. C. Coverage for fire and smoke damage from an external fire. D. Coverage for theft outside of the home. Answer: A personal property floater for high-value items like jewelry. Explanation: a personal property floater can be added to a homeowner's insurance policy to provide additional coverage for high-value items like jewelry, art, or collectibles. Standard policies may limit coverage for these items, so a floater provides broader protection for them. Question 22. Commercial general liability insurance occurrence versus claims made. Which of the following statements is true regarding the difference between occurrence and claims made? Commercial general liability policies. A. An occurrence policy covers claims reported during the policy period, regardless of when the incident occurred. B. A claims made policy covers claims made and reported during the policy period, even if the incident occurred before the policy was in effect. C. An occurrence policy covers claims made during the policy period, regardless of when the incident occurred. D. A claims made policy covers claims reported after the policy ends as long as the incident happened during the policy period. Answer: C. An occurrence policy covers claims made during the policy period regardless of when the incident occurred. Explanation: the key difference is that an occurrence policy covers incidents that occur during the policy period, even if the claim is filed after the policy ends. A claims made policy covers claims that are made during the policy period, regardless of when the incident took place, and usually has a retroactive date to limit coverage for incidents that happened before that date. Question 23. Flood insurance exclusions. Which of the following is typically not covered by a standard flood insurance policy in Mississippi? A. Flood damage to the interior of a home. B. Damage to a home's foundation caused by flooding. C. Damage to personal property like furniture and clothing. D. Flood damage to a swimming pool. Answer: D. Flood damage to a swimming pool. Explanation: flood insurance typically covers the structure of the home and personal property like furniture, clothing, and appliances. However, damage to certain outdoor features like swimming pools is generally excluded from flood insurance coverage unless specifically added as an endorsement. Question 24. Business auto insurance, hired and non-owned vehicles. Which of the following would be covered by the hired and non-owned auto liability, a portion of a business auto policy in Mississippi? A company employee driving their own car on company business. B. A rented van used for transporting business supplies. C. A company truck involved in an accident on the way to a job site. D. A personal car driven by an employee who is not conducting business. Answer: B. A rented van used for transporting business supplies. Explanation: the hired and non-owned auto liability section of a business auto policy covers vehicles not owned by the company but used for business purposes. This would include rented vehicles or personal vehicles driven by employees for business-related activities. Question 25. Inland marine insurance, Bailey's customer coverage. Which of the following best describes coverage under Bailey's customer insurance policy in Mississippi? A. Coverage for a business-owned inventory while it is in storage. B. Coverage for property while it is in the possession of a business for repair or service. C. Coverage for vehicles owned by the business during transportation. D. Coverage for personal items lost during transit. Answer: B. Coverage for property while it is in the possession of a business for repair or service. Explanation: Bailey's customer insurance covers property that is in the care, custody, or control of the business, such as when a business takes in items for repair, cleaning, or storage. This coverage helps protect against damage or loss while the property is in the business's possession. Question 26. Workers' compensation benefits. An employee in Mississippi is injured on the job and can no longer perform their duties due to a permanent disability. What type of benefits should they expect under workers' compensation insurance? A. Temporary total disability benefits until the employee recovers. B. Medical expenses related to the injury. C. Permanent partial disability benefits for a reduced work capacity. D. Unemployment benefits until the employee can return to work. Answer: C. Permanent partial disability benefits for a reduced work capacity. Explanation: under workers' compensation, an employee who is permanently disabled and cannot return to their full duties may be entitled to permanent partial disability benefits. This compensates the worker for their lost earning capacity due to the permanent impairment. Question 27. Commercial property insurance, business interruption coverage. Which of the following would be covered under the business interruption coverage of a commercial property insurance policy in Mississippi? A. Loss of business income due to equipment failure. B. Loss of property due to theft. C. Loss of income during a period of repair after a fire. D. Loss of property due to flood damage. Answer: C. Loss of income during a period of repair after fire. Explanation: business interruption coverage provides compensation for lost income during a period when the business cannot operate due to a covered event, such as a fire. It covers lost income during repairs, but typically excludes losses caused by events like floods or equipment failure. Question 28. Directors and officers liability insurance (DO) coverage. Which of the following situations would be covered by a directors and officers liability DO insurance policy in Mississippi? A. A director of a company is accused of embezzling company funds. B. A CEO is sued for breach of contract related to a business acquisition. C. A company's employees file a workplace harassment claim. D. A company faces legal action due to environmental damage caused by its products. Answer: B. A CEO is sued for breach of contract related to a business acquisition. Explanation: DO insurance typically covers directors and officers of a company in the event of legal action arising from their decisions or actions made in the course of their official duties. This includes claims like breach of contract or negligence in business decisions. Personal misconduct or employment-related claims would generally not be covered under DO. Question 29. Umbrella insurance excess coverage. What type of coverage does umbrella insurance provide to a Mississippi business? A. Coverage for injuries and property damage from accidents that occur on the business premises. B. Additional liability coverage above the limits of other liability policies. C. Coverage for specific types of employee injuries not covered by workers' compensation. D. Coverage for product defects and malpractice claims. Answer: B. Additional liability coverage above the limits of other liability policies. Explanation: umbrella insurance provides extra liability coverage that goes beyond the limits of a business's other liability policies, such as general liability, auto liability, or employer's liability. It helps protect the business in the event of large claims that exceed the coverage provided by other policies. Question 30. Commercial property insurance, replacement cost versus actual cash value. Which of the following best describes the difference between replacement cost and actual cash value in a commercial property insurance policy in Mississippi? A. Replacement cost covers the value of the property at the time of the loss, while actual cash value covers the original cost. B. Replacement cost replaces the property with new property of like kind and quality, while actual cash value factors in depreciation. C. Replacement cost requires the business to repair or replace the property with like-kind materials, while actual cash value only covers property damage. D. There is no difference. It both cover the same amount of loss. Answer: B. Replacement cost replaces the property with new property of like kind and quality, while actual cash value factors in depreciation. Explanation: replacement cost coverage reimburses the business for the cost of replacing damaged property with new property of similar kind and quality without accounting for depreciation. In contrast, actual cash value factors in depreciation and reimburses the business based on the property's current value at the time of loss.